Hello. So in this video, we're going to talk about some incredibly stupid decisions made recently by West Virginia University, my alma mater. The reason we're going to do this is because they've decided to basically destroy the institution. We're going to talk about this in part because the approach that has been taken at WVU, or that's about to be taken, it was just announced recently, this is incredibly common in higher education right now, but almost never to this extent. The extent to which WVU is making detrimental cuts is far beyond what I've seen anywhere else, but with the exception, I guess, of schools that just directly close down. But the problems that have led to WVU's financial plight are unfortunately quite common. So, because I went to WVU, I got my doctorate there. A lot of my Facebook friends are WVU faculty. So I had posted what basically became the script for this video on Facebook. So I'm, rather than speaking extemporaneously for most of this, I'm going to read what I wrote you on Facebook, and I will put some links in the description down below, links to the WVU Provost's office where they made these announcements, links to a Time magazine article about Gordon Gee's personal spending habits while he was president of the Ohio State University, links to a Chronicle of Higher Education article about the cuts at WVU. That one you can read for free. You do have to make a Chronicle account, but it is free. That's how you get around the paywall. And then links to Matt Sebold, I'm not 100% sure. But links to his article about how Gordon Gee's financial mismanagement of WVU has led to the current plight. So those links will all be in the description down below. So here's my actual spiel. West Virginia University, where I got my PhD and my partner Andy got both her BA and MFA, is making a bunch of cuts to programs because of a budget deficit. I have thoughts on this. Oh boy, do I have thoughts on this. To start with some context, my friend and WVU professor Catherine Gouge summed up some of the cuts being made thus. They've made the results public now. 32 majors have been recommended for discontinuation, 12 undergraduate and 20 graduate. 169 faculty RIFs have been proposed. RIFs is WVU's term basically for termination. They incomprehensibly want to totally eliminate our MFA, that's the English department's MFA, our most competitive grad program, and are asking us to reduce our faculty in the English department by more than 25% across all programs. Someone in the comments to Catherine's post said it was more like 33%, more like a third of the faculty. World languages and all the faculty, gone. Math grad programs, gone. Faculty in math and data sciences reduced by 30%. Music faculty cut by 75%. Cuts to computer science. Plant and soil science gutted. Philosophy and women's and gender studies, okay, no cuts. Now, back to me. The budget deficit, as I understand it, is largely a result of the state legislature continually cutting funding for higher education, like in the neighborhood of $37 million out of the $45 million deficit. In other words, none of these programs or faculty is actually the problem. This has been compounded by declining interest rates, by declining tuition rates, however, as a result of lower enrollment. I think WVU, in the past year or two, lost 10% of its expected enrollment. Well, when Republicans and right-wingers wage a culture wars campaign against higher education and expertise in general, What do you expect will happen in a state with the highest rate of registered Republicans in the country? I think West Virginia has around 68% registered Republicans last time I checked, which was a couple of years ago, so that might have shifted one way or the other. The right has demonized universities with their made-up boogeymen of teaching cultural Marxism, CRT, and turning kids trans. Plus, they spread anti-science conspiracy theories aimed at people with actual knowledge and credentials during the COVID pandemic. This is on top of extremely long-standing narratives about spoiled college kids who don't know anything about the real world. Further, WVU, like most schools, has consistently raised tuition without providing much in the way of additional value for those dollars. And in a state with the poverty rates West Virginia has, that's inherently going to mean fewer and fewer students enroll. Now, regardless of the reasons enrollment has declined, the idea that cutting programs, without, I suspect, cutting tuition, is somehow going to help is simply moronic. Why would you expect more students to enroll when the quality of education declines? And if you eliminate entire programs or departments, you lose all of the students who would otherwise have wanted to come for those majors. If this is supposed to improve profits, the administration better be damned sure that the cost of the salaries they're saving will be significantly higher than all the tuition dollars they're going to lose. Personally, I rather doubt that's the case. I mean, if you're losing all of world languages and literature, if you're losing math grad programs, if you're losing 75% of music faculty, if you're losing computer sciences and plant and soil sciences, which is actually quite a big thing in West Virginia, you're losing all of those students. Any student who wants to do plant and soil sciences is probably going to think twice about coming to WVU. Any student who wanted to be a music major, no, why would they come? You're going to lose all of those tuition dollars. And so if the point is, oh, we're losing all this money from declining enrollment, maybe don't make it less valuable to enroll. Now, the other major issue here is that Gordon Gee, noted neoliberal scumbag, has no doubt used West Virginia University as his personal ATM, spending tons of money in addition to his already bloated salary. He did the same thing at OSU. Again, there's a link in the description to a Time magazine article about that. All while running the institution into the ground financially. Although a lot of the blame does lie with the GOP-dominated state legislature, he's an amazingly bad person to have in a leadership role for any kind of public institution, particularly public education, despite the fact that he's been a university president for however many decades. Now, this is partially because he seems to believe in privatization, and there is an indication, Matt Siebold, I think, talks about this in his article, that Gee wants to replace the world languages and literatures faculty with hiring a privately run external online education language teaching service. So, privatization there. But partly because he believes in the CEO model for running universities. Now, the CEO model is one of the worst catastrophes for higher education, I would say, ever. First, universities aren't supposed to be businesses, so trying to run them like businesses doesn't map well onto the mission of higher education. The CEO model has turned students into consumers whose needs have to be met at any cost, and it has turned administration from educators into executives drawing massive salaries far beyond their actual necessity or value to the university itself. Recently, I was arguing on Facebook with somebody who claimed that CEOs earned their massive bloated salaries, although he didn't call them massive bloated salaries, that's me, because their jobs are so difficult and they provide so much value to the companies. I pointed out that CEOs get those salaries even if they drive a company into the ground. He is a perfect example of this principle. Has he earned the millions and millions of dollars he's gotten from WVU by providing a good return on value? Absolutely the fuck not.